All right, good morning, everybody. No trades yesterday. It was a snooze fest out there. Today, overall, wasn't too much better, but did crush a trade today. Absolutely nailed it. Actually, got two trades in. Pretty good overall. So, we're going to break those down. My biggest win in a while, maybe even my biggest, I can't remember. It's been a while, but biggest win in quite some time in today's video. So hopefully you enjoy it. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you check out the discount link for these scanners in the description below, which is where I found both of these trades today. You get 20 to 30% off every month if you use that link and code GDTISW. Let's trade. All right, so first trade was actually a long here on EXPE. You can see it alerting on the negative intensity scanner up into the 40s here. And I was looking at it and it had dropped 20 points from yesterday's close and it was getting down into an area of support on the daily. So I felt pretty confident in this one and I go ahead and start with 100 shares here at 159.15. So probably a little bit bigger on the size there than I would normally start on something making this kind of move at this price level, but overall, I was pretty confident in this one, like I said, just because of the move, because of the chart levels, what was going on in the market today. So in there, and I'm going to look to add here as we get down towards 157. I get the add in there, 157, so we now have 200 shares long at 158.51, and I'm looking for the pop now to be pretty nice. And here it comes. So we start popping. I'm like, all right, I'm not selling any shares here unless we get at least up through 160. I'll look to sell off those first 100 if we do get up through 160 here on EXPE, and it's looking like it's going to do it. And here's the move through 160. I get that fill there at 160.07, so we're out that first 100 shares at a nice $92 gain, and now we're going to look to see if we can get these other 100 shares, which are at that much better price point, down at 157 at a better pop there on EXPE. So I'm going to start to look to piece this one out, and I'm not going to look to sell the next 50 shares unless we get up through 161. And actually, it looked like it popped there for a second, faked me out. I put it out at 161, then canceled it. Now I'm going to wait for 161 again here. I was kind of going back and forth in my mind of what I wanted to do. Is this thing going to pop here or not? It really felt like it was, but at the same time, you can't be sure. So it does start to make a bit more of a green move here, and I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, up through 161 will be the next 50 share sell if we can get a nice move through that level, and then it's got plenty of room to run up towards the 9 SMA there. As you can see, there's really nothing in the way, so I was feeling pretty good. There's it up through 161. I get to fill 161.30 something. Now it's starting to pop some more, looking to piece out another 25 shares here. I put them out at 162.64. Right, I've hit the on the bid button there, so it came down a little bit after I put that order out, but I decided just to leave that order out, get that fill there, down to 25 shares now. I'm going to see if we can get 15 of these up to 164. So I'm going to put 15 shares out at 164, which would then leave me with 10 shares total. So I'm watching it here. Can it get up to that 164 level? It actually popped through for just a second there. I put the order out. It doesn't get filled at first, but I am going to get the fill right there. Down to 10 shares now. And I'm even thinking about piecing these 10 shares out, maybe 5 and 5. Maybe this thing wants to completely turn around and run up to 200 today. Who knows? So I was trying to maybe piece this out 5 and 5 and let the last 5 go. So I go ahead and put 5 of these shares out at 165 in case I can get that fill there, and then I'll put a stop on the rest if it does get me that fill. But unfortunately, it does not get me the fill here, even though it's sitting there right at 165 for a minute. Just couldn't get the fill with that odd share lot of the 5 shares. It starts pulling back a little bit, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a stop in now on these remaining 10 shares at 162. I'm going to put it at 161.99 just in case it does bounce right off of that whole number, but I'm going to put the stop in right there here on EXPE for these last 10 shares that are long. It's going to come down. You see it's trying to hold on to 162 here for just a second, but it is going to go ahead and stop me out right there. So can't complain though. Up $520 there on EXPE. Obviously much bigger than I normally get, but like I said, was really convinced and convicted on this one. Just everything seemed to align and hit it pretty well. Not too long later was RUN. You can see this one popping up on the scanner as well into the 20s on the positive intensity scan. I go ahead and start 200 shares there at 22.88, and it comes down pretty quickly immediately and I maybe should have just taken a partial here and then looked to see what it did, but I was kind of trying to get it under 2260 at least before I did take that partial. So could have certainly taken a partial there on that nice initial drop. Was about 30 cents or so from the top from my entry, but I didn't take it. So at this point, if we're going to add into this one, I'm going to be looking for at least 23.20. That's 30 cents above my current price. It's 20 cents over the whole number of 23. So that's kind of the area that I'm going to be looking. Can we get up through 23.20 on the next 200 shares here on RUN? If we can, I will be adding in another 200 shares. So it's pushing up towards 23 here. The question is, can it get up through there? Will it make that nice pop through 23, or will it do one of those little fake breaks? Can't be sure. We're going to find out and see. So pushing 23, there's 22.99. Can it get up through 23? There's through 23. Initially not too great, but then it does make a nice pop there. I go ahead and get the fill another 200 shares there at 23.23. So now 400 shares short here at 23.06 on run. Starts coming back down, and I was trying to get it under both entries before I took any partial, but started bouncing right there around the 90s. So I took 75% off right there at 93. We was really hoping to get it under both entries like I like to do, but didn't want to take the chance that it was going to bounce right there off of that 90 and then come back up. So took 300 shares off there, now left with 100 shares, and we're going to see if we can piece these out a little bit along the way as they go down. I'm looking to take another half off here if we can get down under 2280. So that's another 50 shares here at 2280 if we can get under there. So you can see the bid sitting there at 2280. Bid comes down under. I click the button. Doesn't get the fill initially. Pops right back up. So my order is just sitting there at 2280 with 50 shares. Not showing on the level 2 because it's not 100 shares. But we are going to get the fill here eventually at 2280 with those 50 shares. And now we are left with 50 more. And I'm going to look to get these 50 shares down towards 2260. I'm going to look for 2260 on these final 50 shares, and if I can get that, I'll take that as the full trade and call it a trade. I'm pretty happy with it overall. So about 2 minutes later, so it is coming down. You can see my order is out there at 2260. It's just a question now of can it get down there and get me the fill. It's getting close. There's the fill, all out of RUN, plus 73, now plus 593 total on the day. I will take that every single day of the week. So that's it for me. I really sat around. I was trying to find anything that I could just quickly make an easy $7 off of to get me over the $600 mark, but just couldn't find something that I could convince myself into doing. But overall, obviously, can't complain. Plus 593. Gonna be a nice big jolt to the upside here after that loss a week ago or so. So yeah, I'm gonna take it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do me one big favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's absolutely free for you. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. I'll see you later.